Okay, I'll put it on. Okay, so welcome to this virtual community meeting to discuss NPA 2024-0024.02. It's in the North Burnet Gateway Neighborhood Planning Area. Mark Walters will be the meeting facilitator tonight. My name is Maureen Meredith. I am the Plan Amendment Case Manager, and Sherry Serwatis is the assigned zoning case manager, and this is our contact information. I'll go over basic case information, guidelines for group discussion. Although there's nobody here, we'll probably pass over that. How to participate in the process. Why is there a plan amendment application? What is a future land use map, also called a FLUM? After my presentation, the applicant's agent, David Hartman, will do a presentation. And if there's anybody in the meeting at this point, we will have the Q&A. These are the property addresses: 11800, 11800 and a half, 11801, 11525 Building A, 11525 Building B, 11525 and a half, 11700, 11700 and a half, 11701, 11701 and a half Stonehollow Drive, and 2105 and 2029 Gracie Farms Lane. 37.94 acres. The plan amendment case number again is NPA 2024-0024.02. The project name is Stonehollow Tracks. The request is to change the plan amendment from mixed use to high density mixed use land use. The associated zoning case has two case numbers, C14 2024-0125 and C14 2024-0126. The zoning change request is to go from North Burnet Gateway Neighborhood Residential Subdistrict Neighborhood Plan to North Burnet Gateway Commercial Mixed Use Midway District Neighborhood Plan. Property owner applicant is TR Stonehollow Corp., a Delaware corporation, and Stonehollow A Ltd., a Texas limited partnership. Agent is David Hartman with Dubois, Bryant, and Campbell LLP. Since there's nobody in the meeting, we will skip over the guidelines for group discussion. For people who may watch the recorded meeting later on, it will be posted to the publicinput.com/neighborhood plan amendment cases tomorrow morning. You can contact me or Sherry with any questions that you might have once you watch the video. If you provide written comments, we'll include them in the staff case report when the cases are scheduled for Planning Commission and City Council. And if you live within 500 feet of the property, you will get a notice in the mail with the date, time, and location of the public hearings. And also it would have instructions on how to participate in the public hearing. So why is there a plan amendment application? Neighborhood plans are adopted by City Council as amendments to the Imagine Austin Comprehensive Plan, and the City Charter requires zoning changes to be consistent with the Comprehensive Plan. Most neighborhood plan amendments are changes to a future land use map. This map shows the areas in blue that have City Council approved neighborhood plans. These areas have a plan document that has the vision and goals of the planning area, and most of which also have a future land use map, where this map has colors that represent broad land uses. For example, you can see the properties circled in yellow on the map, and the light colored brown, that is the existing mixed use land use, and the high density mixed use land use is the darker brown, and that is the proposed land use. Purple on the map represents industry, blue civic, and the green that you see at the top of the map is the recreation open space. Here is a zoomed in portion of the map, again, that shows the property in the light brown, which is the mixed use, and the dark brown you see surrounding it to the west and south is the high density mixed use. This is an aerial photo that shows the properties. Again, an aerial photo with the future land use map overlaid. The zoning map that just shows the base zoning as the North Burnet Gateway neighborhood plan zoning. This map shows that why there are two zoning cases. So Zoning cases cannot be separated by a right-of-way, so they have to have two separate zoning applications. So the larger property you see on the, I guess, right of the screen is the 0125 case, and then the long, narrow property is the 0126 case of the zoning. The plan amendment encompasses both zoning cases. Again, the aerial photo that shows the property. This is the Google map that shows some of the surrounding uses. This is the Imagine Austin Growth concept map, where these colors on the map represent regional centers, town centers, neighborhood centers, and then activity corridors are shown on the streets. So this property is located within the North Burnet Gateway Regional Center Station, and the property is just north of West Breaker Lane, which is a activity corridor. This map shows some of the public transportation surrounding the property. And that ends my presentation, and I'll stop sharing my screen.
Hi, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Hi, my name is David Hartman. I'm a land use attorney with Du Bois Bryant Campbell, and I'm a zoning attorney, and I represent the applicant in these applications. Thanks, Maureen, for that excellent introduction and your efforts on that, the slides and really good exhibits. Some of my material is going to repeat what Maureen presented, but I think it'll be useful to also kind of go over it as well. This first slide has a lot of information, textual information, but I think it's important to kind of summarizes the case pretty well. And then I have exhibits that illustrate it. As Maureen indicated, it's approximately 38 acres located at these addresses. The current land use is 7 buildings, basically 1- and 2-story buildings of industrial flex office. It's in the North Burnet Gateway Imagine Austin Regional Center. The Broadmoor train station, Cat Metro bus stop, is located within 1/2 mile, which is really, I think, a key significant factor in this zoning and neighborhood plan amendment. It's also important it has multiple Capital Metro bus stops and routes adjacent, Stonehollow Drive and Gracie Farms Lane, and also nearby Metric Boulevard, are ASMP level 3 streets, and Palmer Lane and Breaker Lane are Imagine Austin corridors. Palmer, Breaker, and Metric are ASMP transit priority network streets, which is important from a planning perspective, that it just has a really robust connectivity, multimodal connectivity to this site. As was stated, it currently is the neighborhood residential subdistrict. And with a development bonus, the maximum height is 60 feet of height and 2-to-1 FAR with density bonus. And what we're proposing on the zoning case is to change the subdistrict to what's referred to as CMU Midway Zone, Commercial Mixed Use Midway Zone. And again, with the development bonus, the maximum height is 350 feet and 10-to-1 FAR, again, with the density bonus. The current FLUM, or future land use map, is mixed use per the neighborhood plan for this area. And the corresponding FLUM for this that corresponds to our proposed zoning is to change the FLUM from mixed use to high density mixed use. What we're proposing is right in line with what's in this area, given the proximity to the proposed station. There's the adjacent subdistricts are TOD Gateway, TOD, CMU, similar to what we have, CMU Midway, and others. And there's right outside of the regulating plan or some other kind of commercial industrial zone zoning designations from a old 1991 zoning case. And I would just offer as information that the closest, truly residential subdivision is located approximately a 1/4 mile to the east across Metric Boulevard, and it's buffered by 2 apartment projects. And the adjacent flum is similarly high density mixed use to the west and south, and mixed use also nearby. This is an area that just again kind of lays out the site and the adjacent roadways, Burnet Road here, Stonehollow Drive, Gracie Farms Lane, Metric Boulevard and Breaker, also Kramer. And then this just adds in the adjacent uses, including meaningfully is the Broadmoor campus, which is Uptown ATX, which is a significant dense mixed use campus. Proposed development that's currently partly constructed and partly under construction. Schwab campus further to the east, and then some apartments nearby. And then significantly, this is the 11700 Mector Boulevard, where there's a zoning case that's working its way through the process, which would be a maximum 120 feet, which, again, basically would result in kind of a step back or step up zoning from the east Metric Boulevard. It would step up, presuming that's approved, to 120 feet, and then our proposed development would be at 350 feet. And then when you get closer to the proposed station, as is typical and as you kind of look for from a planning principle standpoint, is kind of the density steps up towards that new station. This is the Broadmoor station. That kind of illustrates the approximate location, and then everything on our side is within a half mile. So it's very appropriate to be for the high density mixed use plum for this application, I think, for our proposed site. This is a similar zoning area map that Maureen showed, kind of another view, another look at the flum, where again you see this is basically taking the high density mixed use and the darker brown, and just kind of scooching it and moving it over to the east to cover our tracks as well, to kind of keep right in line with what you see in the adjacent areas. This just shows the existing sub-district maps. I think that kind of we've gone over. Again, it's pretty close to centrally located in the North Burnet Gateway Regional Center, which when you look at the different centers in the Imagine Austin plan, Regional Center is the most intense. And then obviously a couple of Imagine Austin corridors nearby. In terms of ASMP level streets, level 3 streets, it's pretty significant that we have that sort of transportation connect level of street nearby. Also a wide variety and robust number of TPN transportation priority network streets adjacent. Really great bike route if you were a bike in this area. Obviously the Walnut Creek Trail's up there, and just immediately adjacent along Gracie Farms Lane is one of the better bike routes that I've seen. And obviously down along Metric Boulevard as well. And then a nice urban trail network, including Walnut Creek Trail nearby. And as I indicated, multiple bus stops and routes very close to the site. The last couple of slides, since this is a neighborhood plan amendment, always kind of want to speak to the neighborhood plan. And this is kind of the definition of future of different categories within the different future land use map categories, and our proposed high density mixed use area that's appropriate for a mix of residential and non-residential uses with floor area ratios of 3 or higher. Encourage dense pedestrian oriented development, sites with exceptional transportation access. And then under this application section, you can read this on your own, but certainly, it's in the definition that it can be used to accommodate transit-oriented development at existing or proposed transit stations, which, certainly we qualify under that factor. And I believe this is the last slide. This is, we want to look again at the goals of the neighborhood, the NBG plan that we believe supports this high density mixed use flum. And this just, people can read this on their own time, but this, basically transform from an auto-oriented commercial and industrial use, which again, this is kind of an industrial flex office use, into a livelier mixed-use neighborhood, more pedestrian transit friendly, and can accommodate a number of new residents. And then here under item C, for example, enable opportunities for transit-oriented development based on the presence of both CAT Metro commuter rail lines, which certainly would qualify for, as well as providing for a variety of housing options and affordability so that people of all income levels can live and work in the area, which I think is really one of the more exciting things that our proposed development and these applications bring to this area. That it's just kind of a shame, or kind of interesting that today what you have is a couple of stories worth of basically industrial warehouses, when you've got a proposed train station opening up here, and it's exciting to think about what these proposed applications can bring to fulfill the basically the vision of Imagine Austin and the North Burnet Gateway plan. Here's my contact information. If anybody watches this video and has any questions, feel free to call this direct line or reach out to or email me at this email address. And that's the end of my presentation. I'll stop sharing my screen.
Thank you, David. So Maureen, do you want to put up the contact slide again and tell any viewers what's next in the process?
Yeah, so here's my contact information. Hold on one second. Yeah, so here's my contact information and Sherry's information. My team will meet. We'll make a recommendation on the proposed change to the future land use map. Sherry's team will eventually meet and they'll make a recommendation on the zoning change. After we finalize staff recommendation, we will work with David on scheduling the cases for a planning commission hearing date, and notices will be sent to people who live within 500 feet. After planning commission action, it will be scheduled for a city council hearing for final recommendation from city council. People live within 500 feet, you will get that notice in the mail. And if you wanted to contact me or Sherry with any questions that you have, you can do that. If you wanted to provide any comments to be included in staff case reports, you can email that to us.
Okay. Well, with that, we can end the meeting early and stop the recording at any time.